Russia-Ukraine war news. Did China orchestrate the Russia-North Korea deal? Last week, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that a nighttime strike in a suburb of Kiev had killed a father and his 4-year-old boy. Russia has been shooting North Korean missiles into Ukraine for months. Russia launched 4 North Korean-purchased KN-23 rockets. The North denies violating UN Security Council resolutions by supplying missiles to Russia, but satellite imagery shows that Pyongyang sent more than 11,000 containers to Russia after Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin met near Vladivostok last September. According to news reports, the two regimes covertly agreed to trade missiles and artillery shells for nuclear weapons and missile technologies. Putin visited Pyongyang in June to sign the Treaty on Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, which includes a mutual defense clause. China and North Korea were each other's only military allies before June. The conventional narrative is that Beijing worries about expanding Moscow-Pyongyang ties. The New York Times' David Pearson and Cho Sang-hun wrote in June, China's new issue is Russia and North Korea's defense accord. Importantly for Pyongyang, the cooperation with Putin, while not without limits, generates considerable leverage against Beijing, said Asia Society Policy Institute's Danny Russell to the paper. Playing big countries off is a traditional play in Korean history, and Kim Jong-un wants to diminish North Korea's heavy dependence on China in recent decades. Talk about huge reliance. China dominated North Korea's foreign commerce before the arms and technology pact with Russia, according to recent assessments. Much of the trade is Chinese help. Given Pyongyang's vital dependence on China, the Chinese may not be concerned about their growing Russian connections. The Chinese know they can control North Korea and get what they want. Only when they believe their interests are at stake do they demand loyalty. The North Koreans know the score. The former Russian ambassador Georgy Tolorea called Russia an ambulance treating North Koreans, while China is the doctor who heals her day by day. Kim Jong-un hates the Chinese, as Koreans have for millennia, yet he knows he cannot leave China. The Chinese feel confident about Korea. Kim Jong-un's Workers' Party of Korea is still viewed by China to be a junior subsidiary of the senior Communist Party administration in Beijing, Charles Burton of Prague Synopsis think tank told me this month. North Korea absolutely needs on China's economic aid to exist, as is increasingly the case with Russia, says former Canadian diplomat in Beijing Burton. So Beijing can limit any autonomous Russia-North Korea partnership. Beijing believes Putin and Kim Jong-un cannot forsake China. Despite everything, American policymakers like to think the best of Chinese leaders, so it's hard for them to believe China approves of developing Moscow-Pyongyang ties. There are reasons to believe it does. While North Korea might be unexpected, this move by Putin and Kim also favors Beijing, Royal United Services Institute's Sari Arho-Havran told Newsweek. She does not want Russia to lose in Ukraine, and he can appear to limit direct military backing for Russia. Beijing and Pyongyang are skilled at deception. China expert Bill Triplett told me, Pyongyang and Beijing have executed one of the most successful denial and deception operations ever mounted. Washington is replete of analysts who minimize the China-Russia relationship, arguing that the two governments cannot work together to challenge the international system because they have been adversaries. Daniel DePetris and Jennifer Kavanaugh write in The Axis of Evil is overhyped, that America's greatest opponents are far from a cohesive danger. Last month, James Fannell of the Geneva Center for Security Policy told me that China, Russia, and North Korea are more aligned today than at any time since the Korean War. Xi Jinping may not mind that people assume he's unhappy with Putin and Kim Jong-un. Xi, like his hero Mao Zedong, wants to cause chaos worldwide. The Chinese leader wants to avoid criticism, and Putin and Kim, two chaos masters, are his pals. He enjoys the concept that he's not taking the heat and thinks China benefits by supporting them.